And we're back. Let's wrap up this project. Got a few more features that I think we can add, and then we will call it a day as far as the user account system is concerned. Real quick, if you haven't checked out the Discord server, please click the link in the description. Come say hi. We've had some members already start trickling in, so come join us. It's going to be a good time. Anyway, let's dive right on in. So one feature that we are missing is we need to add a user dashboard. Because right now we have one for the admin, but right now the user just doesn't have anything going on. So the first thing we need to do is create a new function here. I'm just going to put it underneath the admin dashboard and just call it user dashboard. And it's going to be the user menu. In order to use this, we're going to have to update our login function, because currently what it's doing is it will send the admin to the admin dashboard. Otherwise, it's just going to print out this nice message and then quit. And we don't need that anymore. Of course, we can keep this message here, but we should run the user dashboard. And we are going to need to pass the user, this variable here, into the user dashboard. And you'll see why. So just make sure you put the user inside that function argument. We're going to need to put that in here as well. Now for the user dashboard, it's going to be very similar to our other menus. I guess this is more of a showcase to how this modular menu system works. So you can use this for other programs. Is when we have a menu we need to add, we just need to add our tables, the local options, as well as the local actions. And then underneath, we need to run navigate and call options and actions. Okay, so what options are we going to provide the users? Well, I think it would be very beneficial for them to be able to change their own password. So let's have change password. While we are wrapping this up, let's go ahead and add our own little program. So let's just create like a notes program. So my notes, we need to let them log out. I think that'll be good. So our actions here is we're going to need to call 3 functions. And you need to have these commas. Remember, every table entry needs a comma to separate them. So there's 3 functions for 3 options. So the first function, well, I guess let's do the last one because that'll be easiest. It's simply going to be return true. And that's going to be to log out. And that's that. So change password. So we could have it run this, although this is more geared towards the admin. So I think we're just going to create our own little change password function, a very simplified version here for the user. So we're going to clear the screen. And this is why I wanted to pass the user variable from the login function into the user dashboard, because this makes it so when they run this change passwords option, they're changing the password for only their user account. So we're just going to have them ask, or I'm going to have it prompt the user to enter a new password. We're going to do local variable. I'm going to call it new pass equal to read. And then we need to confirm. I like to do that. Confirm password. Make sure it's the same, you know. And confirm pass equals read. Now we need to make sure that the new password and confirm pass are the same thing. So if new pass is the same as, confirm pass, and we need to, let's see, I know we had some sort of password requirement. Nope. Register 5 characters. Okay, so let's make sure we have that 5 character requirement. So we're going to have an AND operator in there, and the length of new pass is greater than or equal to 5. We're going to go ahead and open our file here. So local file equals fs.open. Don't need the quotes. We're going to open our user file in write mode because we are writing a new password in there. We're going to write new pass and then close the file. And let's go ahead and let them know the password, man, I can't type, has been updated. Hooray. Otherwise, the passwords either did not match or it was too short. I'm just going to say that. I mean, I could add more if-thens and elses for each scenario of whether these didn't equal or it's not long enough. I'm just not going to do that because I don't feel like it. Password did not match or were too short. And let's have it sleep for a couple seconds so that the user can actually see these messages. Otherwise, they would fly on by and we'd never see them. So that should be good. Right here, if we run change password, we're going to go through this function and the password should change. So for notes, we need to make a function here. So I'm actually just going to call notes menu and pass the user variable through there. And that'll be the notes menu or notes option here. So I think we should be good to run this. Let's go ahead and actually we need to make a new account because we deleted our user. So Bob Potato. Okay, we're going to log in as Bob. Welcome, Bob. Thank you. Okay, so we have our new menu. Let's go ahead and change our password. So it was potato. Let's go ahead and do tomato. Password has been updated. Okay, so I guess we better log out and test it. So I'm going to do Bob and use my old password of potato, and it's incorrect, so that's good. Use the new password. All right, so it can successfully change the user's password. Great. And we can successfully log out. So those are working. I'm not even going to bother with the notes because that doesn't even exist yet. So let's go ahead and add that function notes menu. So this notes menu is going to be fairly basic, but it's still going to be built the same way as our other menus. So let's do our local options and our local actions. Call navigate with options and actions. We're going to need, I guess we might as well load our file here. So local notes file. I think how it's going to be written is it's going to be the user dot note. That's going to be the file extension. So this will be bob.note. Okay, so what options do we want? I think we want to view our notes. Let's add note. And we need to erase our notes. So clear notes. And then we need a way to return to our normal menu. So this is, like I said, going to be fairly basic. We're going to add notes, be able to view them all. And this is just going to wipe them all out. Of course, it could be made more advanced by choosing what you want to wipe out or having a list of notes with timestamps and all that fancy stuff. That's not what this video is about. We're just putting together a little program here to wrap up this user account system. So for the actions, we have 4 functions. I'm going to go ahead and get these going. This one's just going to be the return true, and that will take us back. The first function, we're just going to list the notes. I'm going to clear the screen. And we need to, first of all, check and make sure that it exists. So if it exists, notes file, then we shall load it. We need to open it in read mode. So file, there we go. So open notes file in read mode. And then we need to read the entire file. I'm going to call it content file.read all. And then close it. All right, so then we need to print out these notes. So let's just go ahead and do a your notes and then a line break here. And print content. That should be it. That will open our file. It'll read all of our notes and it'll print it out right here. So if it does not exist, we need to tell the user no notes found. And then we need to sleep so that they can actually, you know what? Forget that noise. We're going to say press any key to continue and do a little os.pull event action for our key. And that's it. That's just going to wait for any key to be pressed, and then it'll carry on. I think, you know what? Let's put a line break here. It'll add a little space and look a bit more organized. Don't want this to get mixed in with our notes. So that's the first function done. To view our notes, let's add a note. Clear the screen. And let's enter a new note. So we need a variable here. So local note equals read. And we need to open our file. Of course, we want to make sure that a note exists and they didn't just press enter and put in nothing. So if the length of note is greater than 0, then we are going to load the file. So local file equals fs.open notes file in, and this is going to be in the A mode. It's going to be a new one for us because the way this is going to function is they're going to be able to add new notes just to this file and it'll accumulate. So the A, if you remember, is append. If you do W here, it's just going to overwrite the whole file. So don't do W. File.write line. We need to actually use line this time because we are not writing the whole file. And then note. And file.close. Then we can let the user know, hey, a note's been added. Note, oh man, note added. Else, if there's nothing there, we better let them know this empty note discarded. Yep, that's not gonna fly here. No empty notes. Sleep for a couple of seconds, and that should be good. That is how we will add our notes. So lastly, we need to delete our notes, and this is gonna be pretty easy. Just gotta make sure that notes exist in the first place and do the fs.delete, the notes file. And then let them know all notes have been cleared. Otherwise, if there is no notes file, then no notes exist. And we need ourselves a little sleep action here so that the user can see what these print statements are saying. And that is it. That is our notes menu. We can add a note, or no, we can view a note right here. We can add a note, and we can delete all our notes. So let's try it out. I'm gonna reboot, run menu and log in as Bob. All right, Bob, let's go ahead and go to my notes. Look at that. I got ourselves a notes menu. So we can view our notes. Uh-oh, there's none found. All right. We can clear. No notes exist. Good, good. Let's see if this back works. It does work. All right, so let's add a note. Let's say, hello there. Note added. Okay, so if we view, it says, hello there. That's pretty nice. All right. So if we add another note, let's just say note number 2. And, well, I guess we're adding another one. Let's see what happens if we just make it absurdly long. It should just wrap across the screen and not just be a one long line. Yep, it sure does. Now, if it's too long, it is, of course, you're not going to be able to view the entire notes file. So that is definitely a limitation since the resolution is only so big. So bear that in mind. This is definitely by no means an advanced capability here. So let's clear this nonsense. And now they're all gone. So that's a simple notes program with our user account here. Our user can change their password, run their program, and log out. This is something that could be expanded upon really as much as you wanted. This is the start of what could be like some sort of operating system. Of course, there's so many things you can do. You can add color, you can add mouse input, you can add all sorts of different programs. You could add a file explorer, a notepad type of deal. The possibilities are endless, really. And we will revisit this when we go into the more intermediate / advanced topics. But for now, that's the end of this project. Consider this complete. This is, with all of this information at your disposal, you can definitely expand on this and make it a lot more advanced. The next series or next project we're going to be going into, I don't really know exactly. There's going to be a few different projects, a little bit smaller in scale, but they are going to be in-game. We're going to be working with turtles, working with monitors, doing some RedNet, and maybe looking into different peripherals. Because I know ComputerCraft or CC Tweaks has a lot of peripherals with other mods. So we'll definitely explore in-game interactions. I hope you've enjoyed. Definitely be sure to swing by the Discord server, and I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.